Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hey everyone.
Welcome.
I think we wait a couple minutes to let everyone sort of feed through and connect.
Yep. Lovely to see the numbers going up. Thanks for joining, everyone. We'll just wait a few minutes. Enjoy the soundtrack of a Hawaiian beach bar.
That's the best music at the end of Monday. At least it's the end of Monday for me and for all of us. But for someone, it might be the morning time.
Hey, the beauty of it is it's good morning, good afternoon, good evening is when we're working in this industry. All walks of life from
Exactly.
all hours of the day.
Exactly.
Just wait another minute or two, but it's great to see everybody still trickling in.
You need to send me this playlist, Hannah. We were using it in the rehearsals earlier, and it's the most at Zen I've been all week.
It's a good energy, isn't it?
Very good energy.
Bit of beach vibes. Start of summer. New month.
It is a new month.
The
God, that's a
first,
terrifying.
the first day of summer. So congratulations to everyone.
We
And
made
We
it.
thank you for
made it
spending it
with
with us.
winter and spring. But it's a bit shocking that it's almost half a year has passed.
Yeah, wow. Don't say things like that.
Yep. That is terrifying. But
Exactly.
let's pause the existential crisis and get into what we're really here for. I can see people are still kind of dropping in, but I will get us going so that we can make the most of everyone's time. First of all, welcome. Let me turn off the Hawaiian beach vibes and kick us off. So, welcome. Happy Monday. Whether it's good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, we really appreciate you all taking time out of your day to be here with us. As you hopefully know, we're talking about how to leverage AI to win seasonal events and how that can give you a competitive edge. I am Hannah. I am in charge of events here at SplitMetrics. So thank you all for registering and taking time out of your day. And I'm going to hand over to our amazing experts, Ben and Alina, who will introduce themselves. We'll be talking for about 45 minutes, and then we'll have some time at the end for questions. And if we don't get through anything, don't worry, you'll be sent a recording at the deck, and we'll answer any questions in writing that we don't get around to today. So yeah, without further ado, here's Ben and Alina.
Thank you very much. First off, here is definitely an older photo of me. Interestingly, I think Alina, your hair has gotten shorter since this photo was taken, and
Exactly.
mine has gotten longer. So we've switched it up.
But it's a balance
I'll,
here, you know?
Exactly. It's a rule. We need to make sure we have the right amount at all given times. My name is Ben. I am the lead global customer solutions manager. I've been working in UA and marketing attribution for 8 years now, which is a terrifying thought when I start putting actual timelines to how long I've been around this industry for. A question I get asked in lots of times I do webinars, seminars, and keynotes is how many AI tools do you use a day? I use at least three. Normally, combination of working tools to help me with my day-to-day tasks, all the way along to more creative things like Suno AI for some music generation, just to keep myself entertained. As you can tell from the setup, this is not my first rodeo, so I am SplitMetrics resident podcast, playlist maker, and all-around general nerd. That's me. I want to hand over and introduce Lena, one of our fantastic senior CS. Lena, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Alina, Senior Customer Success Manager. First of all, thanks a lot for joining us today live, and thanks for everyone who would be watching the recording later on. Uh, I've been working with SplitMetrics for almost 5 years now, which is also a terrifying number. Over this time, I've had an experience of working with more than 50 companies. You can imagine that that's a lot around the world. And during this time, I've managed to build an extensive knowledge base, which I love sharing internally. I usually host some knowledge sharing sessions, and that's the reason I'm here with you today to share a bit of this knowledge with you. And since no introduction is actually fun without a fun fact, I'd love to mention my dog Betty. You can see her on this beautiful slide. And after years of sitting through countless of conversations, me having with my customers about Apple ads, believe me, she's now also a true Apple ads expert. While she's not really contributing to Apple ads strategies and optimization, she's sometimes really helping a lot emotionally. She does support customers um, on my calls. And I'm really excited to be here with you today, and I hope you all will enjoy the session and will live with some practical insights to use right away. And before we dive in, let me quickly introduce SplitMetrics to you, especially to those of you who may not be very familiar with us. So SplitMetrics is a mobile marketing technology company focused on helping apps and games scale their user acquisition performance. Today, we're really proud to have been working with more than 800 clients all over the world, and thankfully, they seem to be enjoying working with us as much as we are enjoying working with them. We are a team of more than 160 people across 20 countries who bring together their expertise from different spaces across mobile growth ecosystem. Our clients include companies such as Wargaming, Flow, Babel, Freenow, NordVPN, and many, many others. And we are really proud to support businesses of different sizes and industries to achieve their growth goals. SplitMetrics is an official Apple Ads partner, managing more than $1 billion in annual ad spend, which is an impressive number. And it gives us a very unique perspective to observe trends, best practices, and opportunities within the Apple Ads ecosystem. And that's exactly from that experience that we'll be sharing some insights with you today. And now let's talk why we're here today and why we are going to discuss seasonality. So seasonal events are some of the biggest, I guess, growth opportunities for app marketers in the Apple Ads channel. During key moments like Christmas, New Year, Black Friday, or World Cup, which is coming, user demand increases significantly. And we've noticed year after year that across major countries and storefronts, we see volumes increase from 100 to 200%. And these periods offer a unique chance for marketers not only to have some growth in volumes, but also maximize their market share. However, capturing that opportunity requires more than just simply increasing your budgets. It requires a structured plan, a strategy that will help you respond quickly to those changing market dynamics and demand. And in today's webinar, we're going to explore how to prepare your Apple Ads campaigns for seasonal events and how SplitMetrics AI-powered solutions and technologies can help you do that efficiently, quickly, and make the most out of these seasonal events. Ben, over back to you.
Thank you. Now, this is a relatively interactive session, so I can see that there are people shouting out hellos in the chat, which we absolutely love to see. And of course, we'd also like you to ask any questions you might have around seasonality, seasonality strategies, or any of the topics that we talk about today. Please do not hesitate to drop in a question. We'll be taking a bit of a Q&A session at the end. However, there is an interaction right now. We are going to do a quick poll in the chat, which is answering the question you see on the screen right now. How does your team typically approach the preparation and scaling of seasonality or seasonal campaigns? We'll take a few moments to kind of get some insights and some ideas. I can see the poll in real time, which is exciting. I've been given host privileges, Alina. This is a rare occurrence for me. So I can see people answering in real time, which is really cool. And we're going to be talking through best practices that we see here at SplitMetrics that we've got from I guess, decades of combined experience working with customers to deploy and put these strategies in place. But we are keen to see how you guys are ultimately going as well. I think we have just wrapped it up and we'll be able to share the results. And it's actually a bit of a split bag, to be honest with you. We can see that some people are utilizing AI for some, early keyword detection, some analysis and scaling, all the way along to actually people are preparing proactively but don't yet use AI for execution. Amazing. Well, actually, we're going to help you out with that today by showing some real-time examples and utilizing technologies to help you achieve that. First things first, let's talk about the components of seasonality. And we've broken it down into three easy to cover areas and topics. The first one being seasonal keywords and semantics, identifying and boosting the right keywords before demand peaks and before effectively that window of opportunity closes. Seasonal creatives and offers, all focusing around your messaging, the promotions, how you align with that event. And I believe, Alina, that's what you're going to be covering for me, right? A little bit later. And then we're also going to talk a bit about bid and budget scaling, ensuring your campaigns can scale aggressively during the peak traffic if the market requires of them. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Good news, and it's very important that I mention this off the top before somebody from marketing starts chasing me with a stick. All three of these things can easily be managed effectively with SplitMetrics AI. What is SplitMetrics AI? I heard several of you ask in the chat at the same time. That is our in-house AI technology that has been built and developed by a exemplary team of specialists specifically to support in UA manager challenges. So this is a tool that is designed to help users get their insights, get their information, focus on on short-term projects like the seasonality that we're going to be talking a lot about today, as well as getting long-term support in things like bid management and key insights in your account via a number of our AI agents. However, proof, as they say in the UK, is in the pudding. So we're going to go into this in a little bit more detail. And we're going to cover our first topic here, which is seasonal growth and where to focus. Now, through hundreds of campaigns we have analyzed and through supporting customers in all forms of seasonality, be it everything from New Year, New You, through to the Super Bowl, through to the summer, through to semi-regular events like the World Cup, to more lesser regular events, but still reoccurring like the Olympics, all the way through Black Friday, and then of course into things like end of year holidays and seasonality. We have seen common trends and common ideologies, which is what we're going to be sharing with you guys today. So, across those campaigns, the first question we get asked is where do we support and where should we put our resources? Well, actually, the first thing you should do is look inwards and look exactly what you are already utilizing and what you are already bidding on and what keywords you're focusing on. Because actually, your biggest seasonal growth drivers, keywords driving the most opportunity and the most revenue, are your existing top performing category keywords and are most likely coming from core semantic clusters that are already driving volume year round. Now, that's not to say that all of the keywords are focused on that particular area, but you should make sure that you are defending and putting your positioning behind those keywords and that you are already seeing success all year round. The challenge being, of course, how do you identify which keywords are starting to surge before the event peaks? Well, easy enough to cover. You can use tools like Iris, one of our in-house AI agents, which allows you to quickly identify month-over-month growth, day-over-day popularity spikes, and actually understand which keywords are developing momentum either during that period of seasonality or the term we always hear viral keywords or viral trends that you need to adapt and take advantage of. You can also then analyze seasonal trends from last year, 2 years ago, previous seasonal campaigns, just because we're going to talk a little bit around the World Cup today, because that's probably one of the most prolific ones that are coming up in the next few weeks. However, you can in many ways compare the World Cup versus the Olympics and actually see what the sort of performance trends and reaction pieces are there. This means that you can then act it proactively before ultimately you are reacting too late. Now, we do have an example prompt that you can put to an AI agent or an AI chat tool to support you. We, of course, are going to mainly focus on Iris, our excellent in-house tool. And the prompt that we're going to run is, can you please prepare a table of keywords in the betting category that increased in volume last week compared to the previous week and are relevant to the World Cup and sports betting? That is quite a powerful prompt because it's doing analysis, it's doing assessment of your current performance, as well as potentially putting in some insights into what that looks like. And I believe I should then be able to then trigger a quick video demonstrating Iris in action. Now, I've put that prompt directly to Iris, and I did this on Friday, so this is quite live data, but we do encourage when using tools like Iris to ask these prompts as regularly as you would like, because the regularity of these asking these prompts means that you're then getting insights and information as up to date as humanly possible. And here you can see it's providing breakdowns on a week by week basis, looking at live Apple Ads data around things like search popularity, key insights in terms of where the developments and changes are, and then, of course, finding keywords that are ultimately associated or connected to that particular theme, in this example, the World Cup. Trying to go to the next slide, and it's bouncing to the same video. There we go. Long story short, there's also an element of expanding your seasonal coverage. This means that you should then look to add seasonal long tail keywords, while core category keywords remain the priority. You can reinforce visibility by using long tail variations of your existing keywords, event specific semantics, so certain teams that are doing well in the World Cup, or certain maybe brands or themes that are linked to the teams that are doing well in the World Cup. And then, of course, looking at temporary search trends in order to ultimately optimize and drive new, fresh engagement. Continuing on, we also want to build potentially a 360-degree coverage during that seasonal event. Here is a further example prompt. Could you please prepare a list of seasonal keywords relevant to the World Cup in Germany, the UK, and France, including estimated weekly impressions and search popularities? I want to take a moment to say thank you to Mike, our head of CS, for putting this prompt together for me. I really appreciate it, as it's a really good demonstration of a prompt that gives you key insights, key views, and also breaking it down on a country by country basis, which is an important thing to bear in mind. You should not take each country and then just bundle them all under one single seasonal strategy and say one size fits all. Absolutely not. Different countries will have different keywords operating with different successes, different seasonality, different search popularities, different ultimate outcomes. And as you can see here, using this prompt, we can get some breakdowns to get further insights to things like which country, which area, and importantly, one of my favorite things about Iris, if you saw at the end there, it provided some strategic recommendations. Why? And we actually pulled those recommendations through because it's all well and good having the keywords, but what should we do with those keywords? So, utilizing our own insights here, which is trained upon our own strategies and our own best practices that we've seen customers drive huge revenue opportunities within their channels and their campaigns. We've broken it down into 4 areas here: the current phase, the pre-tournament surge, during the tournament, and then some focuses around market prioritization. These are recommendations built upon my demo environment within our platform, utilizing our Iris. Utilizing your own, of course, you may see some slightly different recommendations, but that's an important piece. You should be taking unique strategies and applying them to yourself. The logic here is sound, pre-tournament, during tournament, and then, of course, market prioritization, but the keywords, the actual countries to focus on, you should be applying to your own logic, your own strategy, and your own applications, of course. Now, I believe that's me in the immediate. I think I'm now going to hand over to the lovely Alina to talk through what we can do around creatives.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ben. Keyword coverage is definitely a critical part of the preparation and seasonal strategy, but it's not the only one. Once you've identified the seasonal demand and keywords to use and to prioritize, it is equally important to make sure that your creatives align with what users would be looking for. Because while keywords bring your users to your ad, creatives will make sure those users will take actions. So they will tap on your ad and they will click on this get button to download the app and then drive you some revenue. So these two components work hand in hand. And some of the most effective seasonal tactics to use would be to use promotions, special bonuses, seasonal offers, limited time messaging, event-focused creatives in your either custom product pages or even default creatives. All of this will create a more relevant and cohesive experience for your users. And this is also an area where Iris can help you. It can help you analyze what's being used in a particular market and in a particular category by your competitors now, like what offers, seasonal messaging, bonuses, screenshot captions they're using, what was used before, let's say the previous year's event. And based on this analysis, Iris can also suggest you creative ideas that will be aligned with the seasonal trends and users' expectations. And here you can also see the example of the prompt that we've put together. The goal of which would be to understand what resonates with users in your category around a particular event. So in this case, we took betting apps in the UK around the Cheltenham Festival, and I asked Iris to compare 2025 and 2026 and summarize what was used last year and this year in around this event in the UK. Here you can also see a quick video that we've prepared, putting Iris prompt into it. Again, as Ben mentioned before, this is the demo environment we've been using. So the result is built on the demo data that we have, but all of those prompts will work specifically for your account whenever you're using those. As you can see, Iris will provide you with the executive overview, the summary, and at the end, exactly as in previous prompts, you're going to get the recommendations. So an actionable items to pay attention to and to utilize. Here, the same output you can see in more details. After the webinar, you're going to have the emails from our marketing team with all of those materials. So you're going to be able to read through every single piece of it. And again, as I mentioned, there will be the custom product page overview, and at the end is going to be recommendations. Also, if you want to analyze a particular competitor or a particular market and have some specific ideas, like for a particular product page used with specific keywords, you can also ask that, and Iris will provide you with some tailored, very detailed recommendation and creative ideas. Then let me click to the next slide. For some reason, it's not moving. Oh, that's good. Additionally, when your creative ideation is ready, you can use additional tools within SplitMetrics for extra analysis, for extra like ideas and inspiration. And also you can use some tools to execute those seasonal campaigns more effectively. So for inspiration and research, you can use our CPP intelligence. You can review historical custom product pages there. You can analyze visuals in more details. You can study how your competitors approach their creative strategy in general. And once your creatives are ready, you can use our CPP scheduler to launch everything in advance align your creatives with key seasonal dates, and ensure everything is ready before the demand starts speaking. This helps you reduce, of course, last-minute execution risks and make sure your team can really focus on optimization and some strategic tasks rather than rushing some last-minute creative changes.
Now, this one is one that I asked our team to very kindly put into it, and apologies to Alina because I'm going to put her on the spot a little bit here. Why is this important? Why is it important to anyone who's in the call who maybe is being a bit more passive when it comes to seasonality? Maybe they don't have a dedicated strategy around seasonality. Alina, from your experience as one of our senior customer success managers, why is this important?
That is a very good question. Seasonality matters a lot in applets, and I think that most of the marketers understand that because it allows you to get extra results, extra volumes to match your marketing efforts to, peaks in user demand, drive more conversions, maximize your market share. But the key here is preparation. So by planning ahead, by having a proper strategy, you can have everything ready before the demand peaks. And that will allow you to capture opportunities early rather than reacting to them. And sometimes it means that you can be more competitive than others. And based on my experience, what I've witnessed over the years, we're working with many teams that sometimes seasonality as a notion is underused, if you know what I mean. So many teams do not have a dedicated plan, a dedicated strategy. They tend to react like sporadically, only when they see certain performance changes, certain, dynamics shifts. And unfortunately, usually when the approach is reactive, it's very difficult to get those incremental growth results. And in contrast, the teams who do plan ahead and who intentionally build seasonality into their overall appellate strategy are often the ones who really unlock this growth and outperform their usual results during those peak periods. So that's why it's really important to be prepared ahead.
So amazing, thank you. And I think the person is the team that is reactive is losing to the team that is proactive. So your
Exactly.
competitors that are proactive are going to outpace you or potentially even outperform you when it comes to this period of seasonality.
Exactly.
Amazing. Thank you. We're going to go into another area. So, what we've already covered so far, let's just take a step back and run it from the top. So far, we've talked about, Alina's talked about preparing the appropriate custom product pages, having the appropriate creatives in place, or putting them in place ahead of this seasonal period. I've talked about making sure that you are reinforcing your existing successful keywords while also identifying and expanding into new opportunities and expanding into new keywords, new long tail terms in and around your industry and also in and around the theme of the season that we're talking about. The final step, of course, though, then is putting these all together and building what we're ultimately referring to as the execution strategy. Now, the execution strategy is something that you can, again, of course, utilize AI to take advantage of. Our Iris technology can take a prompt like this. Hey, Iris, can you please prepare a strategy for managing and prioritizing optimizations during the World Cup 2026? That's already a very solid prompt, but Mike, again, our head of CS, kindly took it one step further. Please provide pre-event, during event, and post-event recommendations. By adding these extra layers to the prompt, you're then also then adding extra layers of insights and information a powerful tool like Iris would be able to provide you. And I think in this example here, we actually ran this again. I ran this on Friday, just running it through, working from the idea of either a casino or a sports betting potential company. Just happened to be the example I chose in this, but it can apply to any app in any period that is having a high seasonality peak. And as you can see here, the insights that we've been provided are things like which of the campaigns, and this is a really important point, Iris being connected to our Acquire platform and being able to see the insights from Apple Ads means that they're able to provide insights about which campaigns are performing optimally, which campaigns need to be addressed and identified. And actually, funny enough, our system has identified that our UK campaign is currently targeting the wrong storefront in our demo environment. Fun fact that we need to adjust and adapt. It identified that gap and is making further recommendations, and also then did break down into what we asked for: the pre-event, the post event, and what we should be doing during that period, and providing keywords around effectively high priority and the criticality of those terms and keywords. I also can see that our marketing team have shared some really valuable assets and some really valuable insights and playbooks for how to take advantage of something like the World Cup specifically over the next few weeks, broken down into some high priority categories. There, just for the last piece, there is the during events recommendations. And long story short, takes me to this point here, which Alina, I think you were going to just cover for us.
Exactly. So once you've prepared your keywords, your creatives, the next challenge that you might be facing as an app marketer, like how to make sure that your campaigns can actually scale up when this demand starts increasing. And this is where bid and budget management becomes critical. I think that during seasonal peaks, traffic can increase very quickly, that keeping up manually can be very risky and challenging. And that's where SplitMetrics AI bid and budget optimization can really help you out. Our bid and budget optimization strategies can help you maximize seasonal volumes and seasonal results. You can set up various goals inside of this tool depending on what your business needs, but we decided to highlight two of them that we think would be the most applicable around high seasonal periods, which are scale up goal and maximize volume goal, which is, by the way, the newest goal that has been just added recently to our AI bid optimization. With the scale up goal, you can use it up when you want to scale, but you want to do it efficiently, while still maintaining and keeping an eye on your CPA and ROAS stability. So it's like about sustainable growth and controlled expansion. So the focus here would be still to increase your volumes while trying to preserve your efficiency. So you will be capturing some additional volume without sacrificing your performance as a whole. The second goal, again, as I mentioned, the new one, maximize volume. It is particularly effective during those major seasonal events or viral traffic spikes, because in this mode, the priority of the system would be to capture as much demand as possible. So the priority kind of shifts towards capturing as much impressions, as much conversions, as much volume as possible during those high opportunity periods. Of course, the right approach will depend on your business goals, but both of these strategy types can ensure that when demand increases, your campaigns are actually ready to accommodate, to be adjusted, to scale alongside, rather than being limited by manual optimizations of bid and budgets. And I guess we're gonna now look into how to track competition. We're gonna have a real-time sneak peek into our platform, and Ben will be sharing how to actually see your competitive landscape in our platform.
Absolutely. And I'm going to take the opportunity again to just remind the room that if they would like to ask any further questions and cover other areas, then or any other questions, please do not hesitate to put those into the chat. Now, that is me padding while I prepare to do the scariest part of the presentation for me, which is where I take control of the screen and show my desktop. So hopefully nothing breaks, and I'm hoping that you guys can now see my screen. Now, we've
Amazing.
talked. Amazing. Thank you, Alina. It's always nice for someone to confirm it. the important thing here, we've talked a lot about what you can do as a business and what you can do as a focus. And I just saw there was a question, does World Cup apply to all apps and all businesses? And that's a good question that we'll dig into in a little bit more in a minute. However, what we've talked about today applies to all periods of seasonality. So if your app is focused on health and fitness, then there's a good likelihood you have strong seasonality in the start of the year, in January, New Year, New You, as well as maybe a bit of a run up towards the summer, for example. We see that as a common trend in your vertical. So what we're talking about today can 100% be applied to that period as well. If you are doing any focus around sort of Black Friday, that is a massive opportunity for a lot of businesses, a lot of apps. Again, what we're talking about today can also absolutely be applied. Just you take the word World Cup and you replace it with the word Black Friday instead and have the exact same prompts, the exact same approach, or utilizing these tools to get the insights that you need. However, we've talked about what you can do, but it's very important for you to also look to keep an eye on to see what your competitor is doing as well. Now, in the SplitMetrics Acquire platform, the easiest and most common way to do this, we recommend, is looking through the share of voice metric. The share of voice metric is an in-house built metric utilizing our own proprietary technology to analyze and provide insights into your share of voice, your market share on the keywords that you're bidding on in the storefront that you're bidding on them in. Meaning that if you're bidding on a keyword in the US storefront, you can see how much of that market share, how much of that share of voice you are controlling and capitalizing. But not only do we show that, we also then are able to provide you the breakdowns for other applications and other apps that are also bidding on that keyword and that particular technology as well, meaning that you can see where do you stand and also understand where your competitors stand when you're against those particular keywords. You can also check that insight in a much larger scale. So you can click on the chart view here, and we can actually include share of voice as one of the metrics of performance analysis that goes through our platform. And last, by no means least, we also have Iris built in as well. So if you're one of our utilizing as one of our existing customers or would like to be interested in testing Iris, you can get direct insights on your keywords, ad groups, campaigns, apps in general right now within the Acquire platform, utilizing Iris to get those great insights. There they are. Iris is always there, always ready to assist and provide you those insights ready to go. We have a little bit of time, so I also wanted to quickly show utilizing market insights intelligence as well, using that share of voice data a little bit further. We're also able to give insights and understand exactly what keywords your competitors are bidding on, exactly where you stand up against them, what are you bidding on, what are they bidding on, and utilizing share of voice data. We're able to give those view insights. This is really important when using tools like Iris in order to again to make sure that you have the most accurate information possible and to get the most important insights possible. We are always excited to share this, and we might have a cheeky little offer at the end for those who are with us today and enjoying the first day of summer by doing a webinar with myself and Alina. We do have a lovely offer to give you guys as a bonus prize, so do stick around to the end to see that. Now, without further ado, I think we are just going to sort of quickly wrap this up with a final message. Alina, I think you're going to take this, right?
Yeah, I can take
Perfect.
this. Time really flies because the official part of the webinar is almost done, and we are definitely wrapping things up. So, in a nutshell, winning seasonal events really comes down to preparation and to having a proper, clear, planned strategy across a few areas. And this successful seasonal strategy is always built on early keyword detection and semantic expansion, on creative analysis, and having tailored event-focused custom product pages to ensure your messaging stays relevant and compelling to users. On top of that, you need to have a clear execution plan and the ability to scale your bid and budgets across your main campaigns during those peak demand. All of this will make sure that you ultimately turn your seasonal traffic into real performance gains. And with SplitMetrics AI, as we've hopefully shown you during this webinar, the goal is to bring all of this together to help you identify keywords, analyze creatives, generate ideas, prepare faster, optimize smarter, and scale more efficiently so you can consistently outperform during those peak seasonal events. And I think that we are finally here with the Q&A.
We've
We've
had a
got some,
bunch of questions.
yeah, I'm just trying to look through them.
Uh, I can, Hannah, how would you like us to do this? You want us just to pick them out one at a time and work through them, or
Yeah, I'm happy to read them out to you if that's the easiest way, and then you guys can jump in.
that
First
sounds easiest, 100%.
question we had is from Jad. Thank you so much. Is SplitMetrics hooked up to databases about keywords?
This is a question that me and Alina are both going to take a moment and pause to answer because the answer is yes, no, and not in the database way that you think of a database. We're utilizing and analyzing the Apple Ads market in relative real time to identify which keywords are providing the best insights and ultimately the best likely outcomes. We then use things like SplitMetrics AI to analyze those keywords to then come to the conclusion that is best. However, of course, technically that is a database, but not in the sense of we just have a massive spreadsheet somewhere with all of these on. It's more of a case of a live analysis of the live market and identifying keywords that are proving to be prolifically effective. What that means is if a new keyword comes up that is brand new, viral, a new way for people to describe a certain thing, then we'll see that come up, and then things like our AI technologies will be able to make recommendations off the back of it. But not in not in a database in the true sense of the word. It's working off like a big file with lots of keywords in it.
I think that was a great answer. Alina, anything to add on top of that?
I just want to add that Um, we're our system is not only looking into Apple ads, but we also looking into organic keywords too, which is very, very closely related to paid search as well. And on top of that, our AI also can provide, if we're talking about keyword discovery, keyword gap, and other tools that we have in our platform to help you with keyword research, our AI also provides some ideas and recommendations and suggestions for keywords based on everything that we observe on App Store, Apple Ads, and App Store, which is organic side. So we're pretty much covered around App Store, I would say.
Fabulous. Jed, let us know if you have any follow-up questions, just drop them in the chat. In the meantime, the next question that came up was what makes the keyword search better than a good LLM with web search?
I can take that, I think. If I got the question correctly, first of all, Luca, thanks so much for the question. The question was about why it's better to use a solution like Iris rather than any other AI solution on the market. And the answer would be actually somehow connected to what Ben and I has just been sharing around keyword databases. Iris and in general, our AI technology is heavily focused on Apple Ads and on App Store. And so we are specifically analyzing and monitoring and researching Apple Ads space, organic space as well. And I do not think that web search, like any solutions based on web search, will provide that level of in-depth results as tools that were built specifically to monitor everything that happens on App Store. At least when I tried to say like ask the same prompts to Iris and to ChatGPT, let's say, I got very superficial results with ChatGPT simply because it does not look into App Store in that deep way as we do with Iris and other solutions that we have in the platform.
The example I often provide the customers that I work with is that you can go and ask one of these LLMs one of the prompts that we demonstrated today, and then immediately follow it up with, and can you give me a banana bread recipe? And it will respond to both of those. Yes, absolutely. What a good question, and then provide you quite a generic response. Iris and our AI is designed for a specific purpose, a specific outcome. If you ask our tool, can you make me a banana bread? It's going to ask you, what does that have to do with Apple ads? And that's the important difference there. It's designed specifically for this role. And as a third layer, it also can see directly by connecting your Apple ads and then your MMP data. It's also factoring in that information to again give you then further insight. So it's not just then looking at the market, it's also looking inwardly and saying, this is what the market's doing based on your current performance, based on your current trends. I believe these will be better suited for you because I can see the full picture. I can see all of these elements all at once.
Exactly. But that's a very good question.
I love that question. I feel like that question has set us up. I could talk about that all day.
I won't let you do that, unfortunately, but thank you for your insightful answer. Next question back to Jad again. Can the platform run the campaigns and let you know the results in detail?
The easy answer is yes. The more complex answer is utilizing different AI tools, different automation technologies, and then of course Irish. You can get those insights, but the easy answer I think is yes. Alina, if you'd like to add anything else.
Yeah, I think that Jad, in your question, um, I instantly, like when reading your question, I instantly think about AI bid management, AI bid optimization strategy that I've just talked about like a couple of minutes ago, because this is exactly the solution that basically you tell the system, hey, this is my goal, this is my target, I want to achieve that within this or that campaign or a couple of campaigns. When we support multi campaign portfolio approach as well. And basically the system makes sure to do everything. All of the bid optimization changes are made by our AI. And then at the end of the day, you're left only with looking at the numbers and making sure the results are satisfactory and maybe changing the target because again, the competitive landscape changes, the seasonality might hit. So, but the day-to-day optimization is covered by the platform. So yes, I guess the answer would be yes, you can run campaigns and just observe the results and analyze those.
Uh, if I may add, I love that point is saying because we all know that we're operating with live markets. So Elena's point about competitive landmarks, landscape changing, the reality of what is your normal changing. It's tools like this allow you to adapt rapidly and utilize the best outcome and the best strategies as quickly as possible. So you can use great tools like Iris to give you the insights and strategies, and then use further tools like Samba, our bid optimization strategies. That's the AI agent powering that to then ultimately execute on those strategies as well.
Yeah, and on top of that, we also have automation rules, which is slightly different approach, but for things that might be very fragile, let's say, or you might be very um, worrying about, you might delegate a part of your campaign setup to Samba and to our AI bid strategies while keeping something to you to handle manually or to apply some automation rules. So our platform is very versatile and can be adjusted to various needs and approaches, which I love the most about SplitMetrics Acquire. That is very various. Sorry for these two words
Eh,
being
eh, It's one of those things that we all agree when we build an automation strategy, be it condition-based automation and AI, there's something very satisfying about going into the change history and seeing it make all those changes and seeing what changes it has made. I don't know about you, Alina. I always get a little bit of a like weird satisfaction out of seeing that in action.
because you're not the one who have done all of those changes manually.
Yes, I think that might be it. I know that I've not had to make those hundreds of changes manually.
Yeah, that is satisfying. I would agree.
I think that's actually the perfect place for me to segue into what we're doing next week, because we are going to dive deeper into that topic exactly. So Ben and Alina will be back, our amazing experts, but next week we're going to really talk about what Ben and Alina have just touched on, how you can really save hundreds of hours by using AI instead of optimizing manually. There is a QR code on the screen to register for that, but as I said, we'll send you all the information after the webinar as well. But yeah, there's loads more to unpack there. and we'll get into the nitty-gritty and the facts and figures. So definitely come back next week to hear the full details on that.
My
Uh,
favorite one about that one is the hundreds of hours sounds like a gimmicky thing that we're just using to get people through the door. Not at all. Hundreds of hours is actually, in many cases, as lowballing where we can do it. So I'm really excited to share more about that.
Yeah, we'll be very excited to see you all next Monday.
I do think we've covered all the questions.
I
I
think we
did
have one
hijack your
left.
day
I think we
there.
have one left from Anna. And the question goes like,
Yes.
do you think World Cup will be applicable to all apps? I feel like it's very niche. First of all, thanks, Anna, for your question. I think that World Cup event and the effect on different categories would be different. So certain categories like sport betting, casino, entertainment, food and drinks might see bigger spikes. I do believe there are more categories that would feel the effect because while, for instance, like sports betting, of course, it's obvious why it will hit those big spikes. People would be traveling. And this year, World Cup is, I guess, the biggest maybe ever. I'm not really a big football fan, but I know that this is the biggest World Cup ever. It's going to be three countries, like maybe 16 cities. So imagine how many people will be traveling. So it's definitely gonna hit like taxi, eSIM, second phone number apps, just from the top of my mind. Food and drinks, of course, deliveries, like hotels, bookings, all of that. I might think about cases when people might be looking for something to get them entertained while they are on the flight, while they are on the road, while they're, I don't know, waiting for another match to watch. So I think that this year World Cup will be covering a lot of different categories. And here is the place where you can actually check with Iris. Like, hey, can you please analyze my category, my competitors in this or that particular market or in general, and see whether certain keywords that you use already might be spiking in volumes or not? Which keywords would be those? Whether any of your competitors have already started using some creative new ones, World Cup focused. So yeah, I think it's worth checking your specific category, but there are many of those who would be affected.
Particularly around creatives as well. It's not just about the keyword lists, but Alina's mentioned a great list of examples there. But then there's also secondary markets on a domestic level, e-commerce, supermarkets, retailers. They will, I guarantee, have some form of imagery in there, or should have some form of imagery around the World Cup. It could simply just be people having a barbecue, all the way down to actually having footballs somewhere in the imagery to show that you are offering something that is going to contribute towards the experience or the global event that is the World Cup. You don't have to be a football fan for it to have an impact on your business. You don't even have to be directly involved with football to have an impact on your business, but it will or likely have an impact on your users. So take advantage of it.
Exactly. And I think that certain categories which might not be very directly connected with football and World Cup will, let's say, ride this wave of World Cup chaos. Definitely using some kind of promotion, somehow linking their marketing campaigns to World Cup because the demand and the noise around it is very huge.
Anyone in our gaming community or gaming customers or prospects who specialize in gaming, it's as simple as putting your characters in a football jersey. You'll be stunned how positive that impact can have on your conversion rate, all the way along to, hey, if you are in the things like the meditation, astrology, those kind of things, I've seen them say, hey, which teams are going to win? Check out your star signs. And, these things do have a direct correlation. It may sound bizarre coming from us, but trust us, just because you don't think your app suits doesn't mean that your market doesn't. So make sure you analyze. We've used the World Cup as an example here because it's the one that is the most prolific coming up. But as we mentioned, everything we've talked about applies to all major seasonality events. So we're talking about it as a focus right now, but please do use this for future seasonal events as well.
Exactly.
Fabulous. Thank you for catching that, Alina. I'm glad we got to answer that as well. We'll close off with our little offer, Ben?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is something that I do every single day for people that work with us and are starting their SplitMetrics journey. Which is that we help them using doing an iris audit to get some personalized insights, some recommendations. So if you've heard all of this today and thought, yeah, that would really help, and I would like to do that, but I don't even know where to start, amazing. Reach out. I'd be more than happy to be that first stepping stone. And Alina, for our existing customers, they should reach out to their customer success manager, right?
Yeah, exactly. If you're already working with us, just reach out to your CSM, and I'm sure our team will help you out to make sure that you can leverage our AI around World Cup and not only.
And I quite like that little message at the end. Start agentic marketing with SplitMetrics. Let AI do the mundane so that you guys can do the much more interesting and maybe actually watch some of these football games happening in the next few weeks.
Absolutely. Thank you so much to Alina and Ben. Really appreciate your insights. Love hearing you guys chat. Thank you to everyone who joined us, regardless of time zones and locations. As I mentioned, we'll be back next week and we'll be definitely in your inbox with all the information we covered here and some more. Feel free to reach out if you have any more questions. Be happy to answer them and hopefully see you next week.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining. Have a nice morning, afternoon, evening, and we'll hope to see you next week.
Thank you very much.
Leave that up in case anyone wants to scan the QR code as they go. But happy Monday all around. Bye.